And we see them after the fight where they had gone to get bruise cream, both of them, to the same pharmacy. Pran had ended up with the bruise cream. Pat comes out and goes, well, are you going to sell me that bruise cream? And Pran just hands it to him like, no, I'm not going to sell it to him. He says, you know, I showed you this cheek and you ended up hitting this cheek. And I don't know what went wrong with that plan. And Pran's got his shoulder all botched because Pat accidentally hit him too. And so they're sitting there and they say, you know, we tried to work this out with our friends, but you know, even if they all apologize to one another, they'll probably be at it again after a few drinks. So the only thing to do is to keep them apart. And I don't know how to do that, Matt says. And Prince says, well, that's easy. We could just exchange numbers and I will let you know where we are and you will let me know where you are. So we do not intersect at any point during the day and avoid these confrontations that are not very positive. And Pat says, that would work. And then he gets ready to take Pran's number and he's like, chat ID. And he's like, I don't want to take your chat ID. And he says, what? And he says, it's like I'm adding you to my friends list. And Pran is sitting there going, you know, we've got bigger fish to fry than whether you were adding me to our friends list. Like we could get suspended if this continues. And so they decide to look each other up by their chat IDs. And they pretend to count to the count of 3 and add each other, but instead Pran doesn't hit the button. He says, oh, look, someone just added me as a friend. We then go back to the night that Pat came into Pran's window just a while ago because of the college conflict. And we see Pran after that conversation. He's pulling out of a box the watch that he dropped by the ditch when he saved Pa, and Pat brought back to him saying that he owed him a favor. And he's putting the watch back on his hand and restarting time. And it kind of is reminiscent of restarting this relationship after years of misunderstanding. I think would be the biggest issue with this story is I think the conflict is not really the big problem. The big problem is misunderstanding on Pat and Pran's part, and also for their parents. I'm not sure a word for their parents. I'm trying to think of a nice word for their parents, and I really can't come up with one because I don't mean it weird, but by the end of episode 11, I am really not liking Pat and Pran's parents. I mean, I totally get that they have issues with one another that needed to be resolved like literally 20 some years ago. But the fact that they are flopping those over on their children and also making it so their children's lives are miserable when they could be, you know, happy. And not that your happiness is defined by who you are or are not with, but I think, you know, if you are lucky enough to find someone who you get along with in life and who helps you become a better person and you help become a better person and that together you make the world a better place, you should run in that direction, not sit there and go, what are my parents going to think? And, you know, any good parent, I'm like, you know, they're going to totally get that. They're going to sit there and go, please go be with the person who helps you be better and who you help be better. And together the world is better. I mean, it's really one of those no conflict issues if you really stop and think of it. I think the saddest thing in society in general is the fact that, you know, when couples get together and they go meet the parents, oftentimes that's not a really pleasant experience. It's like the parents sit there with their guards up going, this person is going to end up with my child. I'm going to make their life uncomfortable and see how they handle it. That's like a really bad decision. I mean, I totally get the fact that your kid might be with someone who you might not particularly like, but you know, if you raise that kid well, then you need to be able to trust their judgment. And you know, if they did make a mistake, it's their mistake, and you might as well be good to both parties, if you know what I mean. So anyway, and I'm not trying to have a big digression on familial dynamics, but it's like I sit there sometimes and go, you know, life is short. Be happy. Be with the people you're supposed to be. You know, there you go. And that is my review of Bad Buddy episode 1. Check it at the round table. Bye. Oh, you can watch this episode with English subs on YouTube. I will drop a link in the description. You can also check out Nanon has 2 new songs out that he sings, and there's another song called Secret by someone else. I don't know their name. I'm sorry. They're a great singer. That's not it. I'm just really bad at remembering names of anyone. But I will drop a link in the description to a playlist I created with all of the Bad Buddy so far. We don't have episode 12 yet, in order that you can just play through. I've been doing that today. And at the end of it, we have the 3 music videos and a fantastic video by Insomniac Preacher. If you have not checked out Insomniac Preacher's channel, I highly recommend it. They make a lot of amazing videos. But anyway, Insomniac Preacher did an amazing video on basically how we don't want to talk about abuse, but how Bad Buddy is quietly bringing to the forefront some things on how people deal with abuse that we might not label as abuse, which I think is a very important video. If you haven't seen it, it's only like 3 minutes long. I think a little under 3 minutes long, but it's very worth your time. So definitely check it out. Check it at the round table. Bye.